What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. Today's mini scenario is going to be about Cell, if the title wasn't obvious enough. Yeah, I know, another what if about Cell, but look at my channel, look at the guy who's the main profile picture, and the guy that's on screen right now, or just was, whatever, yeah, he's one of my favorite characters. Why wouldn't I make a video about him? I mean, come on bro, come on. If you could see my face right now, you'd see me giving you a look of disappointment. But if you expected a new Cell what if, I'm very proud of you. I would love to shake your hand. All right, I don't know what that intro was, but, well, the title says it all. What if President Cell lived? We are going to be changing up a few things here, but I'll get more into that as the video goes on. And there's a pretty good reason that this is a mini scenario, but no, it's not going to just be Cell kills everyone. I want to make it an interesting story after all. So it's going to be way more than just that, I guess. For this video, let's set a like goal of 3,500 likes. Hitting that will let me know that you guys want to see more videos like this, and that you don't mind videos about Cell. I love him. I'm going to force you guys to love him too. Anyways, let's begin. So let's talk about President Cell for a second. Obviously he was destroyed. So simple change here, he's never found. This wouldn't really change too much in the grand scheme of things. I mean, they'd eventually find out about Cell later on, because the one from that other timeline shows up anyways, the main one that we know of. And Trunks would still be able to defeat his version of Cell too. It's just that there's now a third Cell, the one in the present timeline that was originally destroyed. As we saw in Trunks' timeline, he awakened after Trunks defeated the androids. And like I said, there are going to be a few things we change in this video, and one of them is going to be when Cell is completed, and there's a pretty logical explanation for that here. So if we go by the logic in that timeline, if President Cell did somehow survive, he would still be a couple years off from being fully developed. For reference, the Tournament of Power takes place around the same year where future Gohan died in that timeline. Obviously things went way differently, which is still a few years before Cell even arrives in that timeline. The other change we're going to make is that he develops quicker, because he's going to have a lot more data after all. I mean, think about it. He's not just going to have the same data that Cell had that we know of. Besides the fact that the timeline is different regardless, Cell is also going to have DNA from so many more people. All this data can lead to a quicker development. He could probably have DNA from new people, like Trunks, Gohan, Boo, Deborah, Shin, Kibito. Hell, he'd even probably have Broly and Frieza after Resurrection F, building upon the previous data he had from Frieza. And this is where we're going to have him be revived, right after Broly arrives on Earth. This is going to take place after the Broly arc, but right before the Moro arc starts. Actually, it's right around the time that this arc starts. Cell awakens. Dazed, but also amazed. His power, it's incredible. He's gathered all this data and all this DNA over time. He has so many different abilities and so much strength within him. But still, he needs to become perfect. That's the one downfall of this. Gero still had this one issue. Why does he need to absorb these androids? Well, the good thing is, the androids are still alive, and they're pretty powerful. They'll make for a nice addition to his repertoire. Plus, they're of course going to lead him to perfection just like he wanted. But there's still something irking Cell, his drones. They kept picking up data on Beerus and Whis, but since they couldn't actually sense that godly energy coming off of them, they never thought it was worthwhile. But Cell knows all about them. He knows what they are, who they are, and what they're capable of. And he wants their DNA next. He's going to work up towards that. But first, he needs to attain perfection, just to get more power as if he wasn't strong enough already. He starts off by teleporting over to Android 17's island. Yes, teleporting. He does have instant transmission because he saw Goku use it so many times, and the other Cell had it too. That's another thing worth noting. He has all the data on that Cell as well. He knows the shortcomings of that one, and he's not going to let those problems affect him here. The failure of his alternate self leads him to see that he's not perfect yet. Even once he does get the androids, he can go beyond it. He saw what happened at that Cell against Gohan. He can awaken even further beyond perfection. That's his goal. He strikes 17 pretty swiftly. He's able to locate the island, and before 17 can even react, he's immediately absorbed by Cell. For a split second, 17 saw the monster in front of him. He was frozen in fear, remembering the last time he was absorbed. But this monster is different. His demeanor, and the fact that he's even alive at all. All these thoughts rush through 17's head before he can even react, but Cell doesn't give him enough time to. Immediately, Cell gets one step closer towards perfection, now in a semi-perfect form. Next, he teleports right to Krillin. And it's a similar case there. This was a lot easier than locating Android 17 because he could just lock onto Krillin and then absorb 18 like that. Krillin looks at Cell, horrified, remembering that same exact thing from before. And the fact that he's semi-perfect too. What the hell's going on? But just like 17, Krillin can't even react. Much to 18's horror, he's killed right in front of her. But before she could even escape too, Cell quickly lunges his tail at her, absorbing her just as quickly as her brother. He's not gonna mess around here. I mean, in his imperfect form, he was already strong enough to absorb 17 that easily. Here, he's already untouchable. This is just the cherry on top. Not too far from where Krillin and 18 were, Mayris arrives on the planet, ready to get Majin Buu and bring him into space. They need to fight Moro. Goku and Vegeta arrive there too, about to confront Mayris, but before he can take them down, they all sense something strange. Mayris can tell it's an evil presence, but Goku and Vegeta react horrified. It feels like a familiar energy, but somehow mutated. It feels like Cell. No, that can't be. There's no explanation for that. Why would he be here? How would he be here? But the energy grows stronger and stronger. And as they look around confused, they then hear someone teleport right in front of them. They turn pale, and Mayris looks on confused. Mr. Satan's watching too, horrified. He knows that face all too well. Cell? It was him. How? That doesn't make sense. And Cell explains. They might have killed the future Cell, but they didn't destroy the present one. Yeah, they destroyed Jiro's lab, but there was a separate lab, somewhere else, which is why it wasn't destroyed this time. They looked around for it and they couldn't find Cell, assuming it wasn't developed yet. And Cell says that was a genius move on Jiro's part. Obviously he didn't count for the time machine stuff, but he did make sure to hide Cell far away, not right next to the other androids either. This project was so top secret that it looked like it didn't even exist. But they have no time to ask for an explanation. Immediately, Vegeta powers up, and Goku follows through too. They can sense that Cell is strong, and Mayris can see too, but he can't intervene, at least not with his full power. But he will help fight with his mortal powers, whatever those entail. And then it hits Goku and Vegeta. Cell's perfect. Originally when Cell awakened, he was imperfect. Why is he perfect here? Is that a difference in the project? Cell chuckles. Nope. They have a horrified expression as they realize what happened. He absorbs 17 and 18, and Cell smirks. The look of horror on their faces. It's exactly what he wants to see. He powers up too. And their ki, it feels small in comparison to his. They can sense so many different auras coming off him. It's not like the Cell from before. Of course they sense their own energies, but they sense Gohan. Not like Gohan from the Cell Saga, but like Ultimate Gohan. They sense Trunks. They sense Babidi, Dabura, Majin Buu. Frieza in his golden form. They sense Broly even. And all these energies mix together into a horrifying concoction. Cell's aura is so unnatural that it terrifies them. Cell lunges to attack them, ready to hit them with one strike. But quickly they disappear. Goku grabs onto Vegeta, teleporting away on a whim. And then Cell turns to Mayris. Mayris looks concerned, unsure of what to do. But again, he can't use his full powers here, so he backs off for now, going into the ship and watching from far away. And Cell's confused. Something's peculiar about that guy, but it's not worth worrying about for now. Cell then places 2 fingers on his forehead, looking around. Wait a second, he doesn't need instant transmission. He has the energy of the Kais in him too. He could probably pull off Kai Kai. I mean, he is part Buu too after all, so he can use Buu's teleportation. He's just now realizing how many different techniques he has access to, and he's definitely going to use them in this fight. But as he looks for Goku and Vegeta's energy, he senses an explosion of power. Their energies merge. And another warrior teleports in front of him. Oh, they did that fusion thing. It's Gogeta. He says no words, ready to fight Cell. He can tell that Cell's going to be a powerful opponent, and he doesn't want to mess around here. He already did kill 17 and 18, so Gogeta says he's gonna pay. But Cell chuckles. Let's toy with this guy for a bit. He thinks that 17 and 18 were the only ones he killed? Gogeta's not sure what he's talking about. And Cell tells Gogeta, it's so cruel for them to forget about Krillin. Gogeta's eyes widen. Krillin? He killed Krillin too? Gogeta powers up, going beyond his limits from even before. He's not going to Super Saiyan Blue like he went against Broly. He's going beyond that. He needs Cell to suffer. From Vegeta, he steals Blue Evolution, and from Goku, he steals Kaioken, creating a new ultimate power. His energy skyrockets, going into Blue Evolution Kaioken. Surprisingly, it's not taking a massive toll on his body, but he can tell that this is going to shorten the time of the fusion greatly. He doesn't care though. This power will be just enough to finish this battle in time. He will kill Cell. And he lunges towards the android. Cell is elated. This is what he was looking for. A thrilling fight like this one. He couldn't have asked for a better match. This is probably the strongest opponent he could have faced, a fusion between Goku and Vegeta, utilizing both of their maximum powers. But still, it might not be enough. He feels like they can go beyond that. Maybe he could find even stronger foes, but for now, this will do. He clashes with the fusion. The energy they give off is astounding, and of course, others are gonna notice it too. More fighters begin flying over. Piccolo flies over, then Goten and Trunks, deciding to fuse on their own as well. More fighters keep arriving, watching the spectacle as Gogeta fights Cell. And then another one arrives. It's Gohan. He can't believe what he's seeing. Cell's back? And Cell looks over to Gohan. Of course, he has no connection to Gohan, not like the other Cell. But he does have all the data from that fight. And seeing that look of horror again makes him even more elated. He knows why Gohan's reacting the way he is. He doesn't even say anything, just pointing a finger towards him and beckoning Gohan to come towards him. Gohan powers up into Ultimate, angered beyond belief. This is amazing for Cell. He's fighting Gogeta, he's fighting Gohan, he's fighting Gotenks. And all at once, he's able to counter them. But he is showing off all his power, and it saddens him. This is probably the only time he's gonna show off all his power. Come on, he needs more than that. He needs to evolve somehow. And suddenly, during the fight, Gogeta defuses, just like he thought. Using too much power would cause the fusion to not last. And Cell admits he is a bit disappointed. He continues fighting Gohan and Gotenks in the meantime, but then turns over to Goku and Vegeta. Well, since they're not going to be useful in this fight anymore, he might as well absorb them. He turns over to Goku first, and quickly, he lunges his tail towards Goku. Goku's mind goes completely blank, and out of nowhere, he dodges Cell's attack. Everyone looks on confused, but then they see what's going on. Pushed to his limits once more, Goku's tapping into a power that he used during the Tournament of Power. He goes into Ultra Instinct Omen. If only he could have activated this on command before, but this is fine. And Cell begins fighting him. This isn't as thrilling as fighting Gogeta. But Goku in this form is powerful. Cell can vaguely sense his energy. It's strange, but whatever. There's nothing too bad about it. But as Goku continues fighting, he keeps going over the stakes, and he's forced to evolve once more. His hair begins glowing even more and more, and it begins glowing white, and Cell looks on amazed. He actually didn't know about this form. But maybe he can attain it next. I mean, he is part Goku after all. He has no knowledge of the Tournament of Power or what happened there. But hearing this, it excites him. Although, Goku's already at his limit. Besides the obvious fact that Ultra Instinct's incredibly draining, Goku's already kinda drained. I mean, he just fought as Gogeta Blue Evolution Kaioken. Just listen to that name, even though it was a fusion, he still felt the effects of that. And he has retained some of the damage that Gogeta received from Cell. Cell's enjoying this fight a lot. And amidst the battle, he notices some other powers appear. Beerus and Whis come in. Seeing how dire the situation is, Beerus knows that he might have to intervene himself. For the first time in a while, he might actually have to fight this guy. And this entrance to the battlefield briefly distracts Goku. And Cell then teleports away. Goku has no idea where he went, but he sees on the ground. Cell is moving so quickly that no one can even tell what's going on. He begins absorbing everyone. Goku rushes over, but before he can even get to Cell, he keeps teleporting away around to other people. Vegeta, Gotenks, Gohan, Piccolo. He even teleports to the Galactic Patrol ship, absorbing Buu up there, trying to absorb Mayris too, but he teleports away. That guy, something's wrong about him. And much to Goku's horror, he realizes what happened. Beerus and Whis watch on too. Yeah, Beerus definitely needs to be serious here. Whis says he can rewind time. But again, it's only gonna be for 3 minutes. Beerus is fired up and ready to fight, but whatever, he'll wait. Whis rewinds time, going back to just about the moment where Gogeta defused. Of course, Goku knows that time rewinded and no one else did. And Goku's still worn out from Ultra Instinct before. He's already detransformed from it. And he tells everyone to let Beerus handle it. Beerus then jumps in himself. Surrounded in a fiery purple aura, this is the first time he's had to go all out ever. And Cell's surprised. What power coming from this guy? He wants it for himself. But as he fights Beerus, he sees there's a gap in power that's even too much for him. And Goku makes sure to warn Beerus, be sure to erase every part of Cell. He can regenerate. Beerus hears this, but he continues enjoying the fight, brutally beating Cell, being so far ahead of him that Cell's hopeless. And then he decides to end it. He places a hand in front of him, charging a Hakai. But within a split second, Cell uses the Kai Kai. The Hakai is launched, but it hits nothing. And Beerus hears someone scream on the ground. It's Goku. Cell teleported over to him, absorbing him. Everyone looks on in horror. And this gets a reaction out of Beerus and Gohan, both of whom power up, charging at Cell together. But Cell just looks over at them, smirking. He teleports away again, grabbing onto Vegeta as he does so, absorbing his power. Even with Whis rewinding time, Cell still does the same exact thing. He had this planned. He knows when he's backed into a corner, and unlike his former self, Cell knows not to make this mistake. Especially with a God of Destruction like this, he can't let that Hakai hit him. He continues gaining more and more power, absorbing all the fighters until there's no one left besides Beerus himself. And now with all the power these guys absorbed, Cell might be able to contend against him. Oh yeah, and he's able to regenerate completely too. He is part Buu after all, so he has an upgraded form of regeneration. It's not the same regeneration that the other Cell had, the one that he got from Piccolo. No, this is limitless regeneration. Oh yeah, and he gets a boost in power on top of that too. Whis watches on, with his brother teleporting in as well. Mayris asks, there's nothing they could do, right? And Whis reminds him of the rules. If angels get involved, they'll be erased. All they could do now is simply watch. Beerus is exerting all of his power, and still, it's not enough. He even tries to calm himself. Maybe he could pull out Ultra Instinct. I mean, he can't fully use it, but he did try and tap into it before. But no, he can't. His rage is too high right now. He simply doesn't have the clear mind for it. And Beerus gives a look to Whis. To think that it would all turn out like this. All those millions of years of him being a God of Destruction led up to this point. And now he's finally found someone to match his power, or go beyond it. Cell continuously keeps powering up, as he continues to digest the energy that he just absorbed. And every time Beerus tries attacking him, Cell simply regenerates, growing stronger than before. And Cell makes sure to avoid the Hakais. He knows not to mess with those. And Beerus is actually getting more and more worn out. How is Cell growing this powerful? But it's just like Beerus sensed before. All those energies within him. It only makes sense that he would be this strong, especially now that he's absorbed multiple people. Beerus charges one last attack, but it's already too late. He feels a sharp pain in his side as Cell stabs him with his tail. Cell smiles at Beerus. It seems like he's being cocky, but he's actually being genuine. He thanks Beerus. That was a really fun fight. Hopefully he doesn't mind that he takes this power. Remember, Cell's not going to make the same mistakes as his predecessor. Whenever he sees an opportunity, he's going to take it. He absorbs Beerus, taking all of his power for himself. Whis and Merus watch on, saddened and disappointed. Cell looks over towards them, ready to absorb them next, but they leave. They have no purpose here in Universe 7 anymore with the God of Destruction now dead. But it doesn't matter though. Cell's grown so strong now that he doesn't need them. But maybe he can get other Gods of Destruction. Now with the power of Beerus, on top of all of his other powers, he could definitely make it work. Cell powers up, testing the upper limit of his strength right now. And this time, the power is so immense that it's felt in every corner of the universe. No, the multiverse. Far away in the corners of Universe 7, Moro can feel it as he heads towards Namek. Granola on planet Cereal can feel it. Frieza, out in space, he senses this power. Broly on planet Vampa. Is that Frieza's power he feels, and his own? But even beyond that, it spreads across the multiverse. Shoppa could feel it. Is that Beerus' power? In Universe 11, the Pride Troopers feel it, including Jiren. Goku's power, and all those other powers too. How is it reaching this far? All the Gods of Destruction and their respective angels feel it as well. This isn't any normal power. This is certain doom. The two Zenos watch on from their palace. And as they look on their god pads, it's almost like Cell looks directly at them through it. Not that they're scared at all, but it's just strange. What is this creature? And now, Cell's multiversal conquest can begin. He'll gain even more power beyond this. He's gone mad with it. To think that two other versions of himself failed at this goal. Well, to be fair, they didn't have the advantage of all these powers within them. If anything though, they weren't ever perfect. But him, he's perfect. This is what perfection looks like. And this is where we'll end off for now. Oh yeah, we're going with a bad ending. I haven't done one of these in a while, so I feel it's warranted. However, there is potential that I could continue this. I don't really see this continuing in the future, but maybe I could? We can cover Cell's multiversal conquest and see what happens beyond that. So if you guys want to see that, be sure to drop a like and hit that like goal. I might make a part 2, but no promises though. However, if there's enough interest, I definitely will. Be sure to leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below too. I'd like to see what you guys think. If you haven't already, why not subscribe? As well as hitting the bell icon so you're notified about any future uploads on my channel, including more videos like this one, or maybe even a future part to this scenario. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.